right, welcome back, everyone, for a new episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all the new comic books coming out this week, February 5th, 2025. This is going to be my rundown of all the variants, things that are on my pull list, some things I think you should keep an eye out for when you go to your shops this Wednesday to pick up your new books. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see this week's rundown of books, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. Okie dokie, so we'll start this week off as we normally do with my personal pull list. These are the books that I'm most looking forward to this week, and I can't wait to get my hands on top of the pile type stuff when you go and pick up your new books. Not a lot this week, to be honest. The complete rundown, there's not a lot of stuff, surprisingly, this week. I think they're holding some back. I don't know. But with that said, DC seems to be at the top of my pile this week as I need to pick up the next installment of Absolute Superman. Not my favorite of the Absolute books, but still good enough to earn a spot on my reading list at the top of my pile here. So I definitely want to get this, see what's going on, see how they're going to be doing this mysterious Omega Men redo. Just let's check out and see what's going on. Couple of different covers here with the cover A. We also got the cover B option here, which ain't too bad. Still not in love with the new suit design, but yeah, it is what it is. They're trying to do something different. I'm going to give them some time to let them, spread their wings and give it a try. A couple other covers here. We can go in with this one in the middle as well as the one on the side. But the one in the middle is one I'm pointing it out because that's going to be your 1 in 50 once we take off that trade dress. Look at all the trade dress we remove here. Wow. Big difference, huh? I don't understand why DC does that. Like, if you're going to make the 1 in 50 a version of something, make it of the main book, the cover A, that has all the extra trade dress. I mean, the limited trade dress, you're barely changing it to make it a 1 in 50. It doesn't matter. There's a 1 in 50, 1 in 25. Neither of them are selling for very much. You can find them at like half ratio in a lot of places. So pick them up if you want them. But apart from wanting to read this, the other book that's on my pull list this week is the next installment of just the regular Batman title. Because I do like Batman, and I do like keeping up there. So we got Batman versus Commander Star. You got Court of the Owls, etc. A lot of fun stuff going on in the title right now. So I'm going to look forward to checking this one out. 3 different covers, open order covers here to worry about. You got cover A's, you got B's, you got C's, with Batman doing his best lunges. I do like the Tony Harris one in the middle. I'm most likely just getting the cover A because I don't need to spend that extra money on the foil edition because there is a foil cover and there is a 1 in 25 and a 1 in 50, both of which I actually like. I like both of these variants for the fact that the 1 in 25, it's a fun perspective. It's almost like a panel from inside. Yeah, I kind of like that. And the 1 in 50 is just solid. It just, I don't know, it looks almost like a video game box cover, if anything. But I do like it, the 1 in 50. Again, you can find these for well below ratio if you want them. I'm probably not going to spend that extra few bucks to get either of them, though. I'm just going to be fine with my cover A and just move on with that. And that's it. That's all I have on my definitive pull list. Now, I am on the fence about a few things, and we'll get there. But before we get there, for any of you out there who haven't tried Whatnot yet, use the link down below. Sign up. Get yourselves a free $15 to spend on whatever you want with whomever you want. No strings attached. You help out the channel. You get yourself something nice. You really got nothing to lose just to give it a try if you haven't already. So, going back to last week and the week before, I've added this new segment called Viewer Recommendations. I was thinking about it after running the segment for the second time last week that how do you guys know what I thought? Like, yeah, you recommended a book, but I never get a chance to tell you what I thought of the recommendation or what I thought after reading the book. So I figured, you know what? We should follow it up before we get to the new one each week. So that's what we're going to do. Last week in the viewer recommendations, it was recommended I check out Murder Kingdom #3, Fairy Tale Serial Killer, cast members, Storybook Land. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to spoil things for you, but you know what? It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. I liked it. I'm going to go back and try to pick up the other 2 issues before just to give them a full-on read so I get the full scope of the storyline before it wraps up. But yeah, I kind of liked it. So thanks for the recommendation. I enjoyed it. With that, we didn't get a recommendation for another book for me to try this week. So that's my reminder for you, all of you out there watching this. Don't do it in the live chat. Do it in the comments down below after the show is finished or after the chat is finished. Put it in the comments down below any recommendations of books you think I should be reading next week. For February, what'll be 12th for next week. So keep an eye on your pull list, or just titles. If there's titles that you're reading, just tell me the title and I'll keep that bookmark for the next time a new issue comes out. Just like Barlord gave me that Green Arrow suggestion a couple of weeks ago, and I did actually like that as well. So with that, recommendations down below for the viewer recommendation section. On top of that, I have my own little taste test, things I want to try out that kind of inspire me, intrigue me. Last week, my taste test was for Ice Cream Man, a book I have not read since its inception, way, way, way back at the beginning. So this was a series of one-page horror stories. So I wanted to give this a shot. It's pretty entertaining. I mean, some were better than others, obviously, because they're all one-page stories. A lot of different ways that artists and creators took in telling their one-page stories, whether it just be like full-on text in one, or just like a very quick like one panel kind of thing, or pack as many tiny little panels as you can into the page. A lot of different ways they tackled this, the creators, and I thought that was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I was happy with my taste test on this one. That doesn't mean I'm going to go back and going to be reading Ice Cream Man full on going forward, but it was kind of fun to just kind of dip my toe back into that book for a little bit and just get a little bit more of that anthology aspect. But there's a lot of anthology books out there right now. It's hard to keep up with all of them, with all the EC horror redos and Hyde Street over on over on Image with the Ghost Machine. I'm sorry, Ghost Machine, because I do like Hyde Street. They're all kind of in the same kind of pool, so I can't read all of them, but I do enjoy them. And you got Hello Darkness. There's another one. See, a lot of options right now for us with those horror anthologies. So, like I said, it was fun to check Ice Cream Man out a little bit. But this week, I think I might give this book a try because I never actually tried it, never actually read it. But Kaya, we're already 25 issues in, and it's a fantasy adventure. I don't know. See where it's going. Apparently, we're going to travel back to mutant lands. This is also a standalone issue between story arcs, so it does say it's a perfect jumping on point for new readers. So, hey, maybe that will be me. Maybe I'll be a new reader. I don't know. I'll give this a try and see if it's any good. Only 2 covers here, with a cover A and a cover B. I'll grab whatever one kind of grabs me. Want to see it on the shelf, but yeah, I don't know. Just feel like I'll give this one a try because it seemed kind of interesting for this week in what is, again, just kind of a light week. You'll see as we run through the rest of the categories, but there's not a ton coming out this week to be really, really excited about. So, yeah, I'll give this one a go. With that said, any of you out there who need to get supplies, you got to get bags, you got to get boards, you got to get long boxes, short boxes, those heavy-duty plastic boxes, CGC boxes, top loaders for comics or cards, pages for cards, whatever you need to keep your comics or collectibles safe. It sucks to kind of spend that kind of money to go get those, supplies for your stuff. But if you got to spend the money, you might as well save some money while you do. So you can use the link, but definitely use the code RENA10 and save yourselves 10% off your entire BCW order. So I like to kind of wait and just get a whole bunch of stuff at once. So this way I only have to pay shipping once or twice, or hopefully spend enough to get free shipping. And then you get 10% off on top of that, and it doesn't hurt. So again, you got to spend the money. You might as well save some money while you do it. So nothing, no reason not to try to save a few bucks while you're at it. So with that said, I mentioned already, I only had 2 books on my definitive pull list, but I am on the fence about quite a few things right now. So I'm probably going to pick up a lot of these books just because I'm going to make my trip to the shop worth my time, With that said, what am I on the fence about this week? Well, I'm still on the fence about Batgirl because I have enjoyed the opening arc here so far, but I've never been like a longtime Batgirl reader. I'm not a loyal Cassandra Cain fan. And while it has been kind of entertaining, it's not really like I can't wait to grab the next one. I'm just kind of mildly interested at this point with her mom, with Lady Shiva and all that storyline stuff. So I'm still on board for now, but I could hop off at any point so far. Because again, it's just, I'm on the fence. I mean, this is exactly where it is. We've got a cover A. Pretty cool cover B here. I'm probably going to grab the Sozo Micah cover B this week on this title because I just like that one. I like the almost echo of the image. Anytime the artist does that, I don't know. There's something that kind of helps fill the background with like a repetition. I don't know. I kind of dig it. So that'll probably be the one I grab personally for this week. Also, I'm kind of on the fence with Two-Face. I like Two-Face as a character. I kind of like some of the ideas they hit upon in the first couple issues here with the whole underground court system and their own brand of justice. But at the same time, it just, I don't know, I'm not loving it. So, like, once again, I'll stay on for now. We'll see. I could hop off at any point. You give me one bad issue, that might be it for me. So, so far, mildly interested. I mean, $3.99 helps, so it's on the cheaper end. At least it's not $4.99, so it's a buck cheaper than a lot of other books. So we'll see. 2 covers here as well, cover A and the cover B. I'll probably go with the Christian Ward cover B as my option for this week as well, but we'll see. I don't know. The ventriloquist cover is kind of fun too. I don't know. Not 100% which way I'm going to go. All right. Up next on the fence, Rockefellers. Rockefellers, if I'm saying it right. I like Ghost Machine, but I can't get everything. And right now, this is one of the ones that's kind of on the outside looking in for me. It was all right, the first issue. I haven't even read the second issue yet, so I'm on the fence of whether I'm even going to bother grabbing the third issue now or just wait until after I read the second issue that I got and see if I even want to bother keeping up with this one, because I can't keep up with everything. I mean, I got limited time, limited budget, etc. So I don't know. This one just didn't hit as strong as I thought it was going to, for me personally. If you think I'm wrong, try to sell me, convince me. Tell me in the comments below if I should really give this one a second look. But right now, I'm in no rush to get that issue 2. So once again, I'm on the fence about whether I'm going to grab this week or not. So don't want to spoil it for anybody else who hasn't gotten this far. But apparently we got a bounty hunter kind of from 400 years in the future, 25th century bounty hunter tracking down the family. We'll see. We'll see. 3 covers here. Cover A, we got a B and a C. The cover A is probably the best of the bunch. So if I do happen to pick this up, I'll probably go that way. But once again, not sure. I'm on the fence. Legit on the fence. That's why we have this segment. Also on the fence about continuing the Ultimates. I've said it before. Ultimate Spider-Man has been my favorite of the group of all the new Ultimate titles. And then a lot of these other ones, I'm just getting kind of bored kind of quickly. I mean, yes, it's kind of fun seeing, a new version of characters, but at the same time, they're still the same characters. So how excited can I be to see the next Ultimate Luke Cage? I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of here. And even Spider-Man at this point is kind of waning in my my interest category, because I finally got around to watching Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the cartoon, that animated show, a show I didn't think I even wanted. But I got to tell you, I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the update, and I enjoyed the tweaks. It didn't seem forced, and it's just something different. And it's different in a way that I don't think they're making a big deal about it either. Like, there's characters that I don't think you're even aware that they are characters from the comics. Like, there's some, I wasn't even aware at first. I'm like, wait a second, why do I know that name? And you go, oh, that's Wave, like one of the new, Aegis and Atlas characters. Like that's his crush. It's interesting how they're doing it, the show. So it's kind of casting a shadow now on what they're doing with some of the Ultimate comics for me, because it's just like, all right, they did it once before. The last time they had the Ultimate Universe in the comics, they did the same thing. It was like, well, we're going to build it around, we have our revamped Kraven, we have our revamped Vulture, or whoever. And that's all they did. They just retold kind of the same stories, but tweaked the appearance of the villains or whatever, just like a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Granted, even if they do like huge updates to the characters, I don't even know if I need that. It's just, again, I'm on the fence. We'll see. I'll probably keep going for a little bit longer, though. We're only at issue 9 with a light week. This one might make the cut in me continuing on. I don't know yet, though. But we got a B cover. We got an Inhyuk Lee Luke Cage cover there. And there is a 1 in 25 option as well. And once again, nothing doing on our incentive here. So we're pretty deep into the show. And I'm already not giving you any pricing info because there's nothing that's like hitting that pre-sale market where people are getting excited for it yet. So keep that in mind too. This could be a slow week as far as new books and new hotness. People rushing to grab that stuff from the shelves, because I'm not seeing a lot of good options this week for that. So you might be able to take your time and get your books on Thursday even. I don't know. Just saying. Or maybe, hey, the diamond delays won't hurt you too much. With that said, Wolverine's another one. I've said it for weeks now, months maybe even. I've just never been a big Wolverine individual comic fan. Like, his solo title has never been like the biggest draw for me, but I'm still kind of in. I'm mildly curious about this. What is it? Adamantine or whatever, the gold. So we got the gold version of the super metal. I'm kind of curious seeing where this storyline finishes up. We got Wolverines on one side, we got some baddies on the other with Lady Deathstrike and Cyber Constrictors even thrown in there for fun. I don't know. Again, I'm probably picking this up, but I'm not. I wasn't definitively on my pull list, so still on the fence because I could hop out after this issue. They wrap up this storyline. I don't like the look of the next arc. I might just jump then. So on the fence is again where I stand. Cover A is probably my pick because cover B is all right, but I don't know, just a lot of tendrils and stuff. Is it gonna get choked, punched, and scratched all at the same time? I don't know. Up next, this one's probably in the pull list because you know what? I like the first issue of Cruel Kingdom. See, I even confused it. They shouldn't reuse the Cruel. I still think that's kind of dumb. But Cruel Kingdom, the fantasy angle where Cruel Universe is their sci-fi anthologies. I kind of like the first one. Not all the stories were great, but there were enough good ones that I'm curious of what they're going to do next. And I really like this first cover here with Adam Paulina with the Skull Mountain Kingdom, wherever the hell this is. It looks cool. I don't know, it's just a cool image. I just kind of like it. So I'm probably picking this one up. Should have put this one probably on my pull list. I'm not really on the fence, but if this one has more boring stories than good ones, then it might find itself, I guess, dropped. So I guess that's why it's on the fence. I have no real loyalty to continuing the title, if that makes any sense. It's not like Amazing Spider-Man where I just got to buy them no matter what. Like I know I had it in the Just Got to Do It segment before, but like there's titles I'm just going to buy because I got to continue my runs, my collection of OCD collector. It doesn't matter how bad the storylines are. I'm still buying the issues to continue my run. That's not the case here. So if the story's not good, good day, sir. But I like this cover. Probably getting that one. There is a solid B cover here as well. With the little creature ripping this dude's face and mouth apart. Kind of messed up. We got some incentives here as well with the Jay Stevenson on the 1 in 10s that he's been doing there with the kind of a Harvey EC horror mashup still thing kind of going on. And we've got the 1 in 20, which is the kind of Bristol board marked up version of like this is what it looks like before the finished art. And then we've got the 1 in 50, which again, I get it with all the little symbols going around, but it still reads more like a table of contents page to me than the cover of a 1 in 50. So I wouldn't pay the premium for it. Personal preference. Again, just my personal thing. With that said, I don't think any of these are even selling at a premium or anything like that either. So if you want them, you can generally find them for ratio or less. Now, moving on. We're already hitting up new number ones. And even here, there's not a ton to deal with. We'll kick it off here with from the Hellboy side of the universe over at Dark Horse, Frankenstein, New World. We got Mignola, Chris Golden. Cool. Some BRPD type stuff. Frankenstein Tale. I'm not deep in on this universe. I eventually got to get around to reading my Hellboy library editions. I got those big hardcover library editions for the entire Hellboy run. I haven't gotten into them yet. It's one of those things. It's I guess maybe when I retire and I have no day job and I got a lot of time to sit around and read. Maybe I'll do it then. But so far, not up to speed on my Hellboy universe of things. So this one's probably not for me. But I'm sure there's plenty of people out there looking forward to this. Savage Tales is coming back. Granted, it's coming from Dynamite, so that means we're getting a lot of covers. But here we go. Kind of an homage to the original Savage Tales with the severed head. Pretty cool by Arthur Sunum. So I never say names right. I apologize. But we do have other options here as well with the Bjorn Barons. We also have the Linsner. Yeah. I'm trying to pay more attention. This is the Linsner, not Linzer. They're not cookies. He's an artist. That one's pretty cool. And then we got a cosplay cover as well. Then there's like virgin versions of all of them, black and whites and what have you. It's Dynamite. A lot of different versions of all of those covers, but those are the baseline covers that you're going to keep an eye out for. Also, we're getting a new number one for Power Man Timeless. So we're going back to that crazy story in Timeless I guess a couple years ago now, where it was like Luke Cage and he was fighting. Was he fighting Iron Fist? I don't know, but it's like every power imaginable. It's like one of them had the Spirit of Vengeance, the other one had was a Herald of Galactus, and then you had the cape, the Eye of Agamotto. I don't know. It's like every bit of the Marvel universe between two characters, and they were fist fighting over it. So we'll see where that went, I guess. But here we go, going back to that Luke Cage. He's utterly alone, and what's going on in that weird side universe, I guess. Number one, couple of covers here. A cover, B cover. I think there's another cover somewhere in another segment that we'll get to later, but there is also a 1 in 25 option if you're interested. Once again, nothing doing on pre-sales, so if you want it, ratio or less. We're also getting a Legacy of Darth Vader #1 as we're 10 years in to Star Wars at Marvel Comics once again. They apparently have told all the in-between stories between all of the new movies, or not all of the original movies, I should say. So now we're going to be getting into some new content to kind of bridge the gap between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. I'm sure it's bound to be a lot of divisive stuff with fans, but we'll see where they decide to go with this. But here we go. Legacy of Vader, as we have Vader, Kylo Ren. Pretty cool covers so far across what I've seen for this one-shot book. I think it's a one-shot. I don't think this is a new number. I don't think this is an ongoing series. Where is it? Anyway, point being, the #1 here. Pretty cool cover here on the first one. This is Derek Chu, I believe. I like the Annie Wu cover here a lot. In the middle, it's got some sort of like a classic, almost like Japanese painting kind of vibe to it. I don't know. I dig it. There is also an E.M. Gist one there in the middle. And then we also get a Jedi Knights kind of preview cover over on the side there for a new title that is also coming our way soon. We've also got incentives, including a version of that Gist cover, which is the 1 in 100, and a 1 in 25 by John Jiang. I really like that cover as well. And I like the Gist. I mean, these are all pretty good covers across the board. But surprisingly, I would have thought we were back at the point where Star Wars was going to be selling again at a premium, but not yet. You can find either of these variants, ratio or less. So if you want them, you can find them out there and pick them up. Another #1 we have here is they're still giving us #1s over at Mad Cave for this Gotcha Man. So Gotcha Man, Only One Earth, new #1. Pretty cool cover if you're into that universe. That Gotcha Man was never really my thing. It's cool, but it wasn't one of my favorites. So I'll just leave it at that. Issue 1 for this new series is there. We got a B cover here as well. And then there is also a pretty cool 1 in 10. I kind of dig the 1 in 10. Just something about the over-the-shoulder kind of angle and the dismissive nature of the game, like back off kind of thing. I don't know. I kind of like it. Again, you can kind of find this maybe right around ratio. Could be like $15. Could be down as like $8. It's pretty close, but nothing really doing for me to go and show any sales for it so far. Because like I said, it's a weird week. It is a weird week. But one more new #1 to keep an eye out for is this title coming out of Boom called Bronze Faces. So we're preparing for like a historical tale. We're going to see something, get into some history, some mythology, and perfect for celebrating the start of Black History Month. So seems kind of interesting. A lot of cool covers here. This is the cover A, regular cover for the regular issue. So we're going to take that and we're going to kind of make a virgin version of it because that's what Boom loves to do with their unlockable 1 per stores. So I think they hit certain sale marks or purchase marks. Shops get 1 copy and it's their unlockable, but it's kind of like a 1 per store. Again, it really depends on the strength of this series, how this is going to do, because it's just like any other unlockable or 1 per store out of Boom. It can go anywhere from as cheap as $8 to up to $20, like on those early pre-sales. And then the asking prices are in the same kind of ballpark. Look, there's a copy listed for 10, there's a copy listed for 20. We'll see where it kind of lands as the week goes on. How well you know your shop owner, you got a good enough relationship where they maybe just give this to you for a regular cover if you want this one instead of what's on the shelf. I don't know. Some shops do that. But we do have other options here as well. Along with that regular cover A, we do have a B cover and C cover. I do like that Dan Mora, the yellow there in the background. I like that Mora cover a lot. It also has a 1 in 20 virgin version, which ain't too bad. There's also, I think it's a Tula Lote on the 1 in 15. And then we also have a 1 in 10, who I cannot remember the artist, but it kind of has a Frank Miller 300 vibe, doesn't it? It looks like one of those masks from the original 300 comic, but it's not. It's not. That said, I mentioned it is February. It is Black History Month, so we are getting a whole new pile of Black History Month variants. So I always look forward to these and look forward to seeing the runs and seeing what they're going to do. I don't know exactly how deep DC is going to go. I've been doing research, been looking. I don't have a concrete number yet of how many they're doing, but so far this week, we've only got one, and it's on JSA number 4. So this is the only one out of DC this week. I don't know how many more they're planning for the month, but so far, this is it. You look for that little special logo on the cover, the Black History Month logo out of DC, and that's what you're looking for if you want to collect this run. Now, Marvel, on the other hand, is a little bit more straightforward. They gave me a whole list. If you want to go to marvel.com, you can see the whole list of what they're planning to give us. And this week, we're getting 2, and we're getting a handful more after that. First up, on Avengers number 23, we're getting Black Panther on their Black History Month variant for the Avengers. Pretty cool cover there. I dig it. I like it. It's a lot of sharpness, a lot of sharp edges on him in this image. But we also get one on that Power Man Timeless book as well for the event for Black History Month. So those are our 2 for this week. Here's the list for the upcoming weeks ahead. We've got those 2. Next week we're getting 3, and then the week after we'll get another 3. So there's 8 total for the month. Then I'll do a short at some point covering all of them. You know how I like putting shorts together. So there will be a short for that ready to roll in a couple of weeks. This week, I'm going to go with the throwback because I didn't actually do last year's. So I'm going to cover DC's covers last year and Marvel's Black History Month next week probably. And then I'll give you the new ones later in the month. Anyway, with that said, outside of that, Marvel also does a special Star Wars little subsection celebration for the month of February, and we are getting 1 of 4, I believe, for this month. They only generally do about like half a dozen, but I think the last year or 2 they've gone down to just 4 covers. So hey, it is what it is. But we're getting 4 here. Here's one on that Legacy of Vader. We have the mother character from the Acolyte. I know, divisive as that show was, I enjoyed it. I kind of wanted to see more. Kind of hope for a season 2, but I get it. It cost a lot of money, and even though it had decent viewerships compared to their other shows, the cost does not warrant, I think, continuing the story. I get it. Disappointed I'm not getting more story, but I understand. With that said, here's the list. We got 1 this week. We're getting 2 issues on the 19th, and then we'll get 1 final one on the 26th for just our 4 for this month for Star Wars Celebration of Black History Month. Now, kind of snuck in here as far as variants go, Marvel Studios 2025. I don't know what these are going to be, if it's just going to be for this month, if it's going to be something that kind of lingers and pops in randomly throughout the year. But just thrown in here, I noticed there was a Captain America Brave New World cover on Avengers 23. So we all know Brave New World is coming out in less than 2 weeks. So I get it that they want to do some sort of a prep, kind of celebration kind of thing, I guess, for it. But so far, this is the only one I saw variant-wise. So if you're into it, we got Falcon of old, who is now Captain America, Sam Wilson, and we got the new Falcon, Joaquin Torres, flying right behind him. All right, kind of cool. It's almost like a mix of the comics and the movie, but we'll see. This month, we are also getting a fun little side variants theme, I guess, and this is going to be the animated style by Mark Brooks. Basically, I think I mentioned it before, like Mark Brooks on his IG has been doing this animated style. He's basically doing like Marvel characters in the DC animation kind of like style, and I think they're kind of fun, personally. But here we go with a bunch of covers featuring pairs of characters throughout this month, and there's a lot of them. So first up, on Avengers 23. So you see, we keep talking about Avengers 23. That's already 3 themes we've got covers on for this month. And then you got the regular Black Cat cover there as well. But we got Vision, you got Black Panther in that Disney style. So if they were Disney animated characters, this is Mark Brooks's imagining them in that Disney style, which I think is kind of fun. To compound what they're doing, again, I like these covers. I think they're cool. I don't know if I'm going to be able to collect all of them because there's a lot of them. But I definitely am personally not on board to collect all of the 1 in 50s because all of them are also getting the 1 in 50 Virgin variant treatment. It's going to be a lot. Not saying a lot of money because you can find these for right now. Most of these are under ratio. So if you want them, you can go pick them up. I could say for cheap, but man, considering how much like some of those Disney 1/100s have come down in price from where they were at the start of the event. I don't even know if it's cheap when they're half. You might find it for a quarter of the price. I don't know. Point being, they're 1 in 50s for all of these. So we will move on to our next option because we got 4 for this week. Phoenix. So on the new issue, Phoenix number 8, we've got Phoenix, and you got the Madeline Pryor type character, the vibe going there. And then there's the regular cover, so you know what title we're talking about. And then yes, 1 in 50 Virgin variant as well. So you take that limited little bit of trade dress off, boom, we got a 1 in 50. Scarlet Witch is also getting in the action with her brother, Quicksilver. So on Scarlet Witch number 9, we're also getting the Mark Brooks cover, which again, I like them. I think they're fun. I think they're kind of cool. But there's also 1 in 50s, which are probably, in my opinion, unnecessary. But there they are. And then our last one for the opening week, the opening salvo of variants we have for this theme, we have Wolverine. So on Wolverine number 6, which showed you that one already, we're getting Nightcrawler and Wolverine, which again, it's pretty cool. I don't know if even on the Disney side, if Wolverine should be that much bigger than Nightcrawler, considering, we're going to get back to Little Wolverine, or are we going to jackman him up for for everyday use now? I don't know. But there is a 1 in 50 version for this as well. So with that, here is the huge full list that we are expected to be getting for this week. Oh, wait. Uncanny X-Men. Oh, look. See, one of them must have gotten bumped because we did not get Uncanny X-Men 10 this week. So that one's going to have to be moved down the list somewhere. But you can see, look, we've got 6 more due out on the 12th. A whopping, Jesus, how many is that? 9? We're getting 9 on the 19th. And then on the 26th, we're getting another 5, it looks like. And then that Uncanny 10 has got to be mixed in there somewhere. And then for whatever reason, Infinity Watch 3, all the way out near the end of March, to kind of finish it up. I guess titles get pushed, and I hate when that happens. And then the theme runs an extra month when it shouldn't. But there it is, full list, a lot coming. So if you want to collect the whole run, the whole theme variant, whatever set, there's a lot to do. So keep an eye on it and keep up with it. With that said, we're going back to DC because they are also doing some Hush variants to get ready for their Hush 2 event. All right. I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious where we're going to go with Hush 2, but I'm not super duper excited. I like the first one, but just whatever reason, I'm just not super stoked for a follow-up. But we'll see. I'm open-minded. And I will say one of these covers, not this one. This one's all right. I mean, it's kind of straightforward. You got Hush in the background. You got Batman kind of flying at you on Batman 157. It's not bad. But I really actually do like the Hush variant on Poison Ivy number 30. Granted, it's Hush and Batman on the top of a bridge, but there's just something really cool about it. I don't know. I just like the layout. I like the fact that we're pulled so far away from the action that we get like that them on top of the bridge. It's almost like a wide shot in a film. And I like how the bat symbol's in the background and Hush is actually spelled out there on the side of the bridge. I don't know. I like the layout and I like the design a lot. For one reason or another, it's just, I don't know. I just look at it and I go, I like it. I dig it. So widescreen like shot. Epic moment. I guess that's it. With that said, we'll get back to Poison Ivy 30 a little bit later. You know what segment that's going to fall in. And we'll move on first to later printings. So once again, not a ton. Well, actually, we had a decent bit this week, I should say. For the later printings, we actually have a decent bit. So let's just get right to it as we're winding down the end of the show here. So we got a facsimile of Long Halloween number 1. We got the Noir edition of the Long Halloween, Last Halloween number 1 last week. Now we're getting just the first facsimile for the first series now. That said, fine. I have no problems with this. This is actually an expensive book on its own. So to go and find one of these, it's still about $40-50, I think, if not more. I haven't taken a look at prices in a while, but it is an expensive number 1. So having a facsimile edition, cheaper option for folks to go and pick up and read, I'm on board for that. I'm not going to complain about that. I don't know if we need a shiny foil version, but hey, the DC's not going to stop now. So they're giving us a shiny foil version if we want it. Other random later printings here. We have Doll Parts number 1. I shouldn't say random, but Doll Parts number 1. Sold well enough. Pretty cool. It's kind of like really anime kind of style here. Looking at the cover. Kind of cool. But second print there, Dust to Dust, that J.G. Jones Dust Bowl sort of story. Cool. Getting a second print on that one as well. The book that I'm on the fence about, Rockefellers, is getting the third print treatment. So we're getting a third print now for issue 1. Hey, that's kind of cool. And it goes and bookends with the second print of issue 2. So if you haven't read any of it, you can get a third print of 1, second print of 2, and pick up the new issue 3, and you're all caught up. And even though we didn't get Uncanny X-Men 10 and our animated Mark Brooks cover, we do get a third print of Uncanny X-Men number 1. So if you somehow missed out on the first 2 printings of this book, here's a third for you. I believe this is the one that has a lot of new characters in it. A lot of new mutants that have been, it's this team, not the X-Men team with Scott Summers, or is it the Scott Summers team? I always get these two confused. But point being, third print, number 1, it's out there if you want it. Now we're going to get into the 1 in 25 craziness, because it's been a while. I feel like Marvel's been sitting on some of these, saving them, and here we go. They're going to give you a whole bunch all at once. Starting off with all new Venom number 1. Okay. Again, I was on board, still on board to kind of see through this mystery. Who's this new Venom? Yada, yada, yada. Second print cover. Second print, 1 in 25, because obviously we need a 1 in 25. And it is a wraparound version of the cover we already had, so they're redoing it. But here we go. Early pre-sale, found one sold for almost $50. Asking prices are around $40 to $50. And then there's one out there just asking $200. Just no shame. Just, give me $200 for this bad boy. Okay, we'll see. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to pay $200, but not, especially not when there's $40, $43 options out there. But who knows? Maybe. Keep an eye on it and see what happens. But so far, only one pre-sale just a couple of days ago on the 29th for $46.88, which, all right, makes it something to keep an eye on. The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, continuing what they've been doing with their second printings. Basically, almost every issue, I think, has gotten the treatment. So issue 62, not to be outdone, we are getting another Virgin Scotty Young cover for the 1 in 25 here. All right, it's kind of fun. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Not a lot to unpack when you look at the image, but and Scotty Young has his fans, so we're going to see a few of these sell. Selling for close to $50. Couple sales, and then that's the ask. Could be anywhere from as cheap as $48 right now to, again, someone else out there shopping and fishing for $160. I think that's a bit high, but it's not my listing. We'll see where it goes. If it stays in that $40 to $50 range, I wouldn't be too shocked, but I don't expect a lot of volume. So, we'll watch it and see what happens. We also are getting Laura Kinney Wolverine. This is a nice Lyrics League cover here on a second print for number 1. And if you want a 1 in 25, you got it. We've got the J. Scott Campbell cover, but a black and white version of it as our variant. And this one, I can see why, not see why, but I can see people buying, because Campbell has his fans. Campbell has a large set of fans, myself included. Granted, I don't know if I need to go and spend the big bucks on this book. I'm fine with just the original regular cover trade dress cover price. So I don't personally need to go chasing this one, but I can see where some folks might. Yes, so we have some sales. $62.38, $69.99, $85 already. And those are pre-sales that go back into December. Some were some early pre-sales, some early adopters, just getting FOMO way before this book was even out. But hey, still, that recent sale on January 25th was for $70. Asking prices, well, it's asking $70 and $70 and over $80. So we'll see if those prices hold, if they come down, if copies start to move. But if all these second printings and second print 1 in 25s, this would be the one I would keep my eye on most, because it's a Campbell. Despite the fact that the next book would probably be the more interesting second print, and that is that Ultimate Universe number 1, that look back book that's just technically the first preview edition of the Ultimate Wolverine for this universe. So again, they're redoing this cover, which was the spoiler cover for the second print regular cover. And then there is a 1 in 25. But unfortunately, they made the poor decision of doing a black and white version of the Frank Miller variant of the Maker, which is not aided in any way. Granted, the regular Maker cover is not that bad, but it's not helped by seeing it in black and white. Now I just see exactly what I thought the cover was. It's just a bunch of random pieces just drawn over top of the maker. Yeah, just weird shapes. It's like somebody just crushed up styrofoam and threw it at them. But okay, cool. Not surprised. No one has bought one of these yet. Also, not surprised. They're also not asking a lot for it either. Look, early pre-sales are asking $28 with free shipping and $19.95. They're asking under ratio basically to take this off their hands, and no one is biting. And again, not surprised. Not surprised. This was the only real book that I had any shot at maybe doing a WTF section. So if you're waiting for the WTF section, I'm sorry, there isn't one this week because it was slim pickings. I looked, didn't have any cool, there was no fun nut shots. This was the best I had as far as poor art goes. And again, not taking a shot at the man because the final product, once it's colored, it actually isn't that bad. It's not that bad, but I don't need this black and white version. Definitely don't need this. But here we go. Moving on, 2 more segments, I believe. We're going to go first with the oversized segment. Not a lot here, but we do have, kind of piggybacking off the later printings, a third print out of Distillery for their City Beneath Her Feet series. This is a wraparound cover, but again, I don't know how well those work on these square-bound books. But we are getting a third print, so I guess this one sold well enough to garner that distinction of getting a third print. And we are also seeing the return of the Shudder magazine. So Shudder 21 revives the iconic Warren Illustrated horror magazine of the 60s and 70s. I remember these. The boys just did a show covering magazines and collectible comic magazines on the Qualified this past Friday. If you haven't watched it, go back, go take a look at it, go check it out. But here we go. Shudder 21, bringing this bad boy back. Cool. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Another segment before we get to Cheesecake. We just got covers. So I got a few covers that I just like. So they're randomly just inserted here because they didn't fit anywhere else in the show. So here we go. For you Mark Spears fans, here's your Mark Spears book for this week. It's Shazam number 20. Shazam and a big bug. All right, it's not my favorite cover, but it's not bad. That's why it's here. It's just like, all right, it's a spotlight. Well, I kind of like it. Just like I kind of like this Scarlet Witch, this David Ballione. I just like the look of surprise on her face as she's gotten caught, breaking into this safe. It's cartoony. It's a moment in the, I don't know. I like seeing more covers that are like moments and not just some posed piece. Like, hey, I'm just here posing. Like, this feels like it's telling me a story. I miss that. We used to get that on covers. Sonic this week. So despite the fact that Sonic 3 has now passed us, it has done very well in the theater. We're going to be looking forward to Sonic 4. For now, will we start seeing a dip in some of the excitement on Sonic comics? I don't know. But I kind of like this 1 in 10 cover on 76 because it has that kind of 90s vibe with with all the weird shapes and colors. It gives me like they're hanging out at the Max on Saved by the Bell kind of thing. Or it could be an old school video game cover box. I don't know. But this is the 1 in 10. It's doing what 1 in 10s normally do. It's round ratio, could be higher. Look, copy pre-sold for $35 back in December, but then also pre-sold for $10 and $16. Copies listed right now are for 10, 18, 27. So it's kind of all over the place. Anywhere from ratio to double to triple ratio. We'll see where it lands as the week goes on. I just kind of like it again because it has this kind of 90s vibe throwback. So we just kind of dig it for that reason. And then finally, 1 in 25 on Batman Off-World. I probably should go back to reading this. I just was not interested in this story, despite the fact that it's Jason Aaron. I just didn't want to read about Batman in space. I just was not excited by the idea. If I'm missing out, and this is a really cool read, please tell me in the comments down below, and we can put that in under viewer recommendations or something, and I'll give it a try again. But only thing interesting me is this cover. But it's a 1 in 25, so I don't really want to pay the premium to pick it up. But it's ratio or less, a lot of ratio under ratio. So you can find this $15 to $20 in a lot of places. So if you want it, there are copies out there. I just kind of dig it. I don't love it, but I do kind of dig it, which is why I wanted to give it a little bit of a shine and a little bit of a spotlight. Finally, our final segment before we wrap it up. Again, it's kind of a shorter show again this week because there's not a lot to deal with this week. My pull list is going to be pretty short, maybe half a dozen books when it's all said and done, which ain't too bad. That's a good week for me personally. But we'll see. Cheesecake covers here. Maybe I'll add a couple extra covers here because there are some covers I do kind of like. Starting off with this one. Granted, this first cover is not very cheesecakey, but I really do like it. It's a Dan Panosian, biased fan, you know, by now. There is a connecting cover set that will be mirrored next issue. We'll finish this cover image, so got to get both. So just for the cover, I like them. Granted, unless you're really into the sultry eyes, I guess we can't call this a cheesecake cover, but I'm still leaving it here because we got other options as well, which do fit the criteria of the segment a little bit better. We got some more Oracle and Black Canary action here with her on the bike there as well. All covers are pretty solid as far as all three of these go. And then there is a 1 in 25 here as well if you want to get more on the kind of silly side of things with the gals all just hanging out. It's still kind of fun. Pick it up again, ratio or less. It's not really doing all that much on the pre-sale market, so you can find it if you want it. Also, I mentioned Poison Ivy a lot earlier in the show. Here's the cover A again. I think it's Jessica Fong doing it. I kind of dig it. Good art. It's just got an interesting look to it. It almost has like a Fables quality to the art. I kind of like that. I don't know if you guys remember Fables, but I do like that quite a bit. It's got like James Jean. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but it's got that kind of vibe. But we also have other variants here as well, including the Jetty Frizen, obviously, and we got a Villalobos, which is really cool with that card kind of, upside down reflection kind of thing going. Like all three of these, really can't complain there. And then we do have a foil cover as well as a 1 in 50 Virgin edition for that Frizen in the middle, and then a 1 in 25 as well. Again, all solid. Then we're going to move on over to this Alien Armageddon 1943 book. I don't even know what the heck this is, but this is like straight up 90s cheesecake kind of like stuff, right? So that's why we're here. That's what the segment is. So that's why this book is here. For those of you out there who want even a bit more, there is a not suitable for work edition that you could also pick that I cannot show you the full thing here, but boom. It's not probably going to do like what that Frizen book did last week, but hey, it's still out there. Who knows? People like their not suitable for work covers. Again, I like some of them too. I'm not judging. With that said, let's move on to Grimm. We got a couple of cool covers here on Grimm. This is just the cover A. Then we got an In Hyuk Lee on one of the B covers here as well. And then we've got some Virgin versions of these and a 1 in 30 to top that off as options as well. I haven't read this title since it came out. It's just one of those ones I just knew I wasn't going to be able to keep up with. So once again, if it's good, tell me. But just like the House of Slaughter stuff and all that, I just can't keep up. The Booms get way too much content for me to keep up with these days. But that being said, there is an unlockable, which is just like that other book, the Bronze Faces earlier. So copies, $10 to $20. Who knows where it's going to land as the week finishes up? But that's kind of where they're at. Shops, qualified for it. They unlock. They get one copy, and it's a version of the cover A. So keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. I'm not expecting a huge increase on it, but you never know. Sometimes these things pop. With that said, let's go on over to Zenescope as we got Terror and Fury. A little bit with the cat lady over on the side there as far as this cover goes, but it's really the other covers that really fit this segment, and we've got options here as well as that Paul Green there in the middle. I know, I think last time I keep saying Randy Green because it reminds me of the name Randy Green. He did like Darkness stuff, Top Cow stuff way back in the day, but this is Paul Green, right? I sometimes just confuse the names because it's Green. It's Randy Paul. I don't know. Seems easy to confuse, at least in my head. But I believe this is the Paul Green cover here in the middle. And this one is also the 1 in 20 when we make it a little bit more risque. And if you want to go and chase one of these down, you can. Not going to be many of them out there. Not going to be easy to find. Sometimes they can sell for a good chunk of change. Sometimes they just are out there. It's really a crapshoot. But with all of that said, that is the rundown for this week. That's all I got for you. So I want to thank you for all the support. Thank you for stopping by and checking out the show. Make sure you check out all of the shows here on the channel. Not sure what other shows I'm going to be able to squeeze in for this week, but I'll definitely make sure to get you your Hot 10 on Friday on time. Every Friday at 9, and maybe a dollar bin digging on Thursday. That I keep saying I'm not going to do them, and then I do them anyway. Maybe I'll try to squeeze in a Chasing Ghosts again on Tuesday. I'm not quite sure. I got another Deja Vu plan to squeeze in at some point in the weeks ahead. I know I still got to get back over to Toy Informer, my toy channel, and do something over there as well, because I've kind of neglected it, apart from just giving shorts almost every day, doing a lot of those Marvel Rivals shorts. If you didn't notice, I moved the Marvel Rivals video game character designs from here over to the Toy Informer channel because it fits a little bit better over there with the gaming, etc. That all said, I'm not here to waste any more time. That's all I got for you. I'm just going to wrap it up for this week. As I said, it's kind of a shorter week, so it is what it is. Hopefully next week's got more for us. And with that, I'll see you all later with more content. All right.